hasn't been done, and I fought for 2 years. Long 2 years.
There is no alimony.
There is no alimony, according to those documents.
According to the documents, there was no alimony agreed to.
I just felt like this wasn't for me, that...
So I suppose we've now discovered what Sharina Hudson admired most in Kevin Hunter. Folks, it is indeed his money. Even though Kevin is now officially bankrupt and homeless, this woman doesn't appear to be giving up on trying to extort more money from his pitiful wallet, and it has been claimed that she has filed for Journey's child support. Let's watch how Kevin reacts to this news, since it appears that he has fallen into a sizable and murky pool of financial difficulties.
I'm gonna defer to my guy here, Eric, to answer that question for you.
It's not like we didn't see it coming. Do you guys agree? In addition to being homeless and owing a bank a five-figure sum, Mr. Kevin Hunter must find some money to pay for the child support for his teenage daughter, Journey, who she shares with Sharina Hudson. It seemed that karma had finally revealed Mr. Hunter's true worth. Now, Sharina's life will be peaceful for years to come if she wins the entire contest, just as she had always imagined.
One of these, less than smart women who moved to the big city with bright lights.
Sharina must have felt like she was in a romance comedy in 2007 when she first started fooling around with Kevin Hunter behind Wendy's back. I'm not sure whether that was the idea all along, to get pregnant and then milk her lover's account until it's dry. Name one thing she didn't receive from Kevin over her more than 15 years of sleeping with him behind Wendy's back. Kevin had been kindly financing her lifestyle.
Just about the whole 13 years that they were together, and people behind the scenes say it was more like 15 years.
Sports vehicles, fancy handbags, luxurious holidays, and pricey presents. Guys, I can see why she delayed leaving Kevin. The man was adamant about demonstrating his generosity, and he eventually made an attempt to demonstrate to Sharina the breadth of his giving by opening his wallet. He even made an investment in her tiny pancake empire.
When I tell you these things gonna be so delicious.
But if you think Sharina's arrogance has any boundaries, I'll tell you that she used Kevin Hunter as her cash cow, and that while she was making fun of her business failures, her demands grew, and the cost of new gifts continued rising. Eventually, Wendy Williams admitted in her post-divorce interview she was somewhat abacked to learn that Kevin had gifted Sharina a home worth about $1 million in the same area where Wendy.
Sources were talking about this affair. Now look, I'm a straight shooter, pow pow.
Now let's see how Kevin is going to raise some money for Sharina and their little daughter, as it doesn't look like his contact book is full of prominent contacts after the public and very nasty. Divorce with Wendy, and he only occasionally receives calls. Wendy Williams created the ideal Kevin disseminator commercial, advising people not to collaborate with him.
I don't recommend that you work with your husband.
Kevin was attempting to show the world what a brilliant producer he actually was. So it looks that this pancake queen still had some faith in her beloved, despite the fact that Kevin and Sharina's financial condition was growing worse and worse. He even asserted during one of his interviews that he was solely responsible for the Wendy Williams show's success. It's clear to say that after I've left, the show tumbled hard. My intellectual property of the creation of the Wendy Williams show and how it had to come across was key. They would not have experienced the success they had without me, guys. Can you even begin to comprehend how confident he was? However, his little scheme was swiftly discovered, and Kevin's remarks about being able to achieve on his own only served to make him look like a fool.
I'm a hustler, I'm an entrepreneur. Whatever I don't have, whatever is taken away from me that God don't want me to.
It seems sense that Sharina would only desire this man's money for child support now that his house of lies has fallen. Many people think that this small family will fight constantly against one another over these claims and lawsuits. Since their pitiful and wicked affair has come to an end, fans have little pity for either of them. As one user wrote, "Why do folks start relationships in sin, then expect it to be blessed? She wanted him now. She got what came with it." And another user added, "Where did she think that was going while she was living off Wendy's money? They thought they outsmarted Wendy. She burned it all down so she could walk away and not have to pay him a dime. I would have done the same. Get well, Wendy. Take care of yourself after the contentious divorce." Kevin appears to be in serious financial trouble, and insiders claim that Sharina is using the money she withheld from him to hire a top-notch attorney to sue this man for unpaid child support. If Wendy discovered how her unfaithful ex is thriving without her, I know she would laugh heartily.
The problem is that Kevin ended up getting with this girl. She made herself very available.
Due to Wendy's alimony, Kevin's small family was still able to purchase some items even after his reputation was damaged, and he lost all of his television contacts as a result of the public divorce and the revelation that he had been having a mistress. But as you are aware, things continue to get worse, and Kevin hasn't earned a dollar since Wendy Williams was placed in financial guardianship. But to Kevin, it appeared to be a small barrier standing in the way of getting his wife's money. Because he so strongly wanted Sharina and Newbie in his life, he kept believing that he could support them with his exceptional abilities and skills.
Still a respected producer like the other executive producer we had there, the showrunner, and
I have bad news for you guys if you think Kevin started looking for legitimate projects to create as a self-described reputable producer because Hunter's sole thought for getting money was to moan about his woes online and sue Wendy for unpaid alimony. As he petitioned to the judge, "My car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended." Sharina was so appalled by her lover's public lamentations that she knew right away who her lover really was. So it seems sense that she hurriedly packed her belongings after seeing Kevin sobbing on TV and pleading with his ex-wife for more money. Many people had already foreseen Sharina's departure from Kevin and her taking the remaining funds with her.
I fought against because, I just felt like this wasn't for me.
While the alimony case was still pending, Sharina did have some hope. There must have been nothing keeping Sharina near Kevin's side when his last source of income, Wendy's large check, was lost. We all knew that this small family was all about frivolous spending. Following the court's ruling, Kevin was forced to sell everything he had ever owned, starting with his jewels and cars and eventually giving away the beautiful mansion he had bought for his new family. There are various theories as to how Sharina ended up in his courtroom for child support, among the suspicions that she did so.
They still together?
So anyway, I have no idea. I don't know how they're raising the daughter Germ.
However, it appears that the general public is rather more aware of this tale. Additionally, it appears that after Kevin and Sharina split up, he sold their Florida love nest. Furthermore, according to a number of reports, Sharina and the child relocated back to her mother's home in South Carolina, where Sharina and the child now reside. From there, the former Pancake Queen is developing her new extortion scheme. According to the source, Sharina had been attempting to save as much cash as she could for her daughter's future, but because of Kevin's financial difficulties, it seemed impossible to put aside enough money for a comfortable living, let alone education. Although we may all sympathize with the infant who was not given such parents, it appears that no one feels any sympathy for Kevin or Sharina in this situation. As one user wrote, "Sharina Hudson is getting what she deserves too. You can't expect to live good while she helped make someone else's life miserable. God is never going to let that happen. He wasn't a deadbeat dad." And another user added, "She signed up to be a side chick for years. She didn't know this was going to happen. Laughable. Let's see what dummy he meets next." Now it seems like this lady doesn't seem to ever stop until Kevin's bank account runs completely dry. And this man will be over ears in debt trying to pay her off. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to subscribe our channel for more celeb videos. Don't forget to like and comment. Also share it with friends and family.